Good morning. This is Adam Smith with the Colorado Real Estate Finance Group on Monday, March 30th. And yes, I know there was no video produced last week. My apologies. It was spring break. Well, it wasn't really my spring break, it was my kids' spring break, but I took full advantage and took some time off, and we did not produce a video last week, so you didn't miss it. And normally we would be here with your weekly zero-cost marketing and contact management tip. But we've been doing that for years, and because of the nature of what's going on in the market right now, I want to change that a little bit. Now, I don't know that this will necessarily apply coast to coast, but here in the Denver market, certainly in Colorado where there are 600 new people a day moving, we're having this insane housing shortage, a quarter of what would be considered a healthy inventory. Properties going on the market and getting dozens and dozens of offers that day, half of them with escalation clauses, properties selling for tens of thousands above asking, so on and so forth. We're starting to see some real scary behavior out of some of the real estate community here, and I want to share with you guys basically some non-tips, some things not to do, some horror stories that we're seeing, and hopefully it's good information for you to share with your colleagues to put to use down the road to not let things slip into an ugly pattern as some of the real estate community seems to be, and I know a lot of you are seeing it. So this week's non-tip really relates to an overzealous agent who has a buyer-borrower that we've been working with that was fairly well qualified, but a government borrower. You guys know what that's like. Negligible down payment, gift of a down payment, those kinds of things. Not the most qualified buyer on the planet by any means. And in her zealousness, decided to write the dates on the contract with the intent of getting that offer accepted, despite the fact that some of those dates would actually be in violation of federal lending laws. Now, that may very well have just been negligent or zeal on the agent's part, but what actually occurred once we informed the agent that the dates would have to be amended is she took it upon herself to go find another lender that would be willing, I know, to violate those federal laws, then went on to coerce the buyer-borrower to use that lender. Okay? So a number of no-nos in that situation. One, be careful about how you're writing your contracts. Check with your lender. Make sure that the dates are going to be acceptable. The lending laws are changing all the time, and there are a bunch changing this year that you'll either be aware of soon or already aware of, or will be made painfully aware of later this year. And then, don't coerce your clients into a lender, into an insurance company, into whatever relationship you've got, whatever kickback you might be getting. I hate to use that word, but you've got to be really careful with that kind of stuff, especially considering the fact that the majority of the complaints coming against you through proper formal channels are coming from your colleagues, not from your clients or other consumers. And then, of course, most importantly, remember, you have an obligation to deal fairly with all parties. Okay, so that's really this week's non-tip. Okay, take some time, be cognizant of your contract dates, be cognizant of what you're saying to your buyers. This will go for the sellers too, but obviously on the lending side, we don't interact with sellers anywhere near as much, so we won't have those kinds of tips or non-tips for you. All right, let's talk about this week's drawing. And yeah, we'll still do the weekly drawing, despite the fact that we're going to start doing these weekly videos with horror stories rather than with tips on how to build your business, at least for now. And if you want to be this week's winner, first, please subscribe here to our YouTube channel. then make some comments down below about this video, past videos. Maybe you've got comments about your own horror stories on what you're seeing. I know I'm hearing a ton of them, and we would love to hear them all, so please share. And a big congratulations to last week's winner, Frank, 2 weeks ago, excuse me, Frank. But Frank, you emailed us some great comments. Your email didn't have any contact information except the address. We replied asking for that so that we could ship you off a gift. And we still haven't heard back. So, Frank, please reach out again or reply to the email we sent to you asking for some further information, and we will get a prize off to you, Ricky Tick. All right, so remember this week's non-tip. Contract dates. Don't coerce your clients. Do deal fairly with all parties. Remember this week's drawing. Have an amazing week. End of the month, end of the quarter. Make it great. And we'll see you next time.